Hi, this is Kerry with Learn Davinci Resolve, and I have a hardware review for you today. And I'm always looking for great values with great products that have great features that, are in a reasonable price point, but it all comes down to overall value. They've got to provide good value. Now, one thing that I've been looking for, and I hadn't really found anything that I really liked, was something that made for a good practical light. And what I mean by practical light is that you use it in a setting to create the light right there. Instead of trying to do stuff in post-production, like add flashing lights or different effects, you can actually use real lights to create real effects. And that's what a practical light is all about. And one of my favorite YouTube channels is Gerald Undone. So Gerald, if you ever happen to see this video, I love your channel. I love your stuff, but man, you make me spend a lot of money lately. Whew. I mean, every time he recommends something, I tend to go out and buy it, because if he says it's a good value, I'm probably going to think it's a great value as well. This is no exception. This is the Boling Boling BL-P1 12-watt RGB full color dimmable on-camera LED video light. A lot to pronounce there. We'll just call it the Boling P1. And this is a very, very cool light. Now, price-wise, we're at, I have it up here on Amazon, $159. And that may seem like a lot for what it looks like a very small light, but there's a lot going on here. Let's start with the outside. On the top, we have USB-C, and that charges the internal battery. And I want to double check here if it actually says how big the battery is on this. I don't think it actually lists the milliamp hours, but I've been getting right around 2 hours and 20 minutes, 2 hours and 30 minutes on a charge. So very, very good battery life on this thing. You can also, I don't know if you can power it from USB or whether you can just charge it. I haven't tested that to see, but I've been getting a lot of runtime out of this thing. And then you have the on-off switch right on top. On the back, you have, well, it's on the side, but it's actually labeled here. You have a set button, you have your function button, and you have your dim button. So your set will go through different features, the function will modify those features, and then dim is your brightness control. I love that the brightness is separate from the other ones. Unlike the Aperture FL A7, it's one knob, you push it to change the color, you push it to change the brightness. I really like how that's separate. There's nothing on the bottom, and on this side, this really weird looking contraption here is the mounts. Now, if we just look at it, there's a 1/4-20 on this side, a 1/4-20 on this side, a 1/4-20 up here, 1/4-20 here, a 1/4-20 here, and a 1/4-20 here. So a lot of different mount options. But then you pull this out, there's another 1/4-20 here, and this gives you a lot of flexibility in how you want to mount it. Now, not only do you have this axis of orientation, you have this axis of orientation. So you can really get this light positioned right where you want it. Really like how this is designed. Put it all back together there. Now I'm going to go ahead and turn it on. And we have, I'm going to turn this down because it's going to blind me if I point it at myself. You have an OLED screen on here that tells you your battery, what mode you're in. So if I go to set, I can toggle through the different modes that are on here and then use the function to change them. So I'm here on the color temperature. Let me turn it up just a hair. I'm on 5600 right now. See if I can turn it down so it doesn't blow the camera out. So we can go down to 2500K and I'll go all the way up to 8500K. Now what's cool about this is if you just barely touch it, you can do that in 100K increments, or you can hold it down and have it whip through them fairly quickly. Same goes for some of the other features on here, in that the function keys and the brightness are both the same thing. You just barely move it and you can go 1% at a time in terms of the color, or you can crank it down and get to 100% very, very quickly. Wow, that's really bright. But you can actually go from 0 to 1%. That's 3%. So you can have a lot of control over this light. Now, I said this was an effects light. So you have your basic light like this that can be used, you could use it as a key, but you'd probably want it behind like an umbrella. Easily use it as a fill light, a hair light, spotlight, something where you want a smaller light source. Let me go to set here, and here is the HSI setting, and that allows you to completely change the RGB values of it. And on the back here, there's a color chart that shows you what those numbers are going to represent, going from red, yellow, green, blue, purple, and into red. Now, if I hold the function, you can see I can turn this all kinds of different colors. And then you also have saturation. So that was 100% saturation, and I can turn the saturation down depending on how much, of that bold color I want to come through. And then on top of that, we still have our brightness control. So a lot of ways to control the light in the HSI mode. I'll go to set again. Ooh. Okay, the first mode is this white flicker mode. Right now I'm on C. Let me go to A on that. And we have a lightning mode. So we want to put this outside of a window, emulate, kind of a storm thing going on. The B mode on that is a fast lightning. So a little more active of a storm. I wish there was more control over this. Even on the A setting, it's a little too much sometimes. I want it to be a lot more spread out, so it's just once in a while going off, but there's not much control. It's, I call it fast and not so fast, but there's no slow. That's B mode. On the C mode, now we have this kind of a pulsating effect. So if I was trying to shoot somebody, I wanted it to make like they were watching TV, I kind of have this pulsating effect like that. That's kind of a neat feature. Now I'm going to go to hit set and I'm going to hit function and move down to B. And here we have a fast RGB cycle and a not so fast, or not quite as fast. Still a little too fast for me. Again, wish there was more control, or I wish there was an app that I could connect to this and really fine tune it, but there isn't. For 159 bucks, can't ask for everything, but I do wish there was a little more control over the speed of these lights. On the C mode on here, now we have this amber. So this would work well if I'm trying to make it look like somebody was watching a fire or a candle or fireplace, something like that, where I wanted this warm, kind of a pulsing glow going on. So I could see where I would really be able to use that. The next mode is, I'll just call it public safety mode or strobe mode. So the first one is our police lights. Now I'll definitely use this on an upcoming shoot where we have someone being pulled over and I want this effect going on, and I wasn't quite sure how I was going to pull it off. You can see it up against the wall like that. At night, in the back of a car, the guy sitting there, I think this is going to be very effective for that. The next mode on here is B, which I believe they call ambulance mode. So it's blue and white flashing. And then C is fire engine mode. So that's red and white. Whew. And then back to our regular light. Okay, well, I can't see a thing right now because this thing has totally blinded me. But very nice light. This enclosure, it's definitely metal. It feels like aluminum with kind of a very light texture on it. Now I'm going to show you something else that this comes with. It does come in a very nice box. I was very impressed with the packaging. Here's the actual box it came in. And when you pull out the inside here, inside it comes with a nice little case. It's got belt strap on it, kind of nice. Open this up, and this little tab right here, it says open. If you open that, there's actually an Allen wrench, so you can make sure that your connections on this mount are always secured down nice. Super, super thoughtful to include an Allen wrench for that. Also in the box here, it does have a little manual, and they call it the Cine EDC Gear RGB video light. And the instructions, I mean, they're all right. They're, you know, there's not a ton to this. You have to go to the back to get to English, but it does go through the different settings, tells you how to use it. It does use QC 3.0 fast charging, which is very nice. Make sure it charges up super fast, and goes over the different options. The special effects mode, and the different mounting options, and then your parameters, your LED lifespan. Says it's 50,000 hours, 140 minutes is what it's claimed. 7.4 volt battery at 2900 milliamps. So not much to the manual that you can't figure out just by watching it. And then they include a couple decals for you to mark up your goodies with. So nothing to write home about in terms of the manual. Like I said, it was very self-explanatory going through this thing, and I know I am going to use this a lot. If you've been watching the videos I've been doing on Blackmagic's Davinci Resolve 16 beta, you'll see that this back wall has been lit with different colors, and that was done with this. When I took this out of the box, it was fully charged. After recording 5 or 6 videos with it, and each one of those is ranging from 6 to 12 minutes or so, and then I left and forgot I left it on, and that was another 30 minutes. It is showing, let's go in here, still 4 out of 5 bars on here. So exceptional battery life on this thing. Very, very impressed. So if you're looking for a small, durable, practical light that has those special effects, I mean, there's certainly just white lights that you can get that are going to be cheaper. There's lights that are going to be smaller. There's lights that are going to be lighter. Everything you can find that's going to be lesser than this. But for $159 to have a self-contained light with a very long battery life, with full RGB, that's huge, with power increments from 0 to 100 in 1% increments, it is pretty much impossible to find anything else on the market like this. It's unfortunate they're not a more well-known company like Aperture, because nobody knows about these things. It did ship from China when I ordered it on Amazon, and it took about 8 days to show up. So don't expect that you can get on Amazon when you're watching this video, select Prime, and have this thing in a day or two. That's not going to happen. It's going to take you a week to week and a half to get one of these guys in. But I think if you get it, you make the investment in it, you're going to be very, very happy. You're going to see this used in a handful of our productions coming up that we're doing. You're going to see it used here in, on my desk to add some color to the background. I'm just going to be using this thing a lot. So it is the Boling BM-P1 LED light, RGB, available on Amazon for $159. There will be a link in the description below. Or if you go to my website, kerrygarrison.com, go to the Amazon store link on there. You can find it on there as well. I'm not sponsored by them. I paid for this. They did not send me one. They don't know anything about me. So I did buy this with my own money. So when you buy something on the affiliate link, it's not because they sponsored this in any way, shape, or form. This was my own opinion on a light that I purchased outright. But I will blame Gerald Undone because I bought it based on his recommendation, and I'm very happy. So thanks, Gerald, for that recommendation. So take care, everybody. Stay tuned for more videos. We have a lot of stuff coming up in the works. Hit that subscribe, hit the notify to be notified every time we put out a new video. And as always, thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.